Electoral Commission believes like it has got the autonomy. Nobody else can influence its decisions. Therefore, the executive order asking the commission to relocate to Blantyre is not valid according to Malawi Electoral Commission. Therefore, they have decided not to relocate to Blantyre. But the Attorney General has said there is nothing that can stop the relocation of the Malawi Electoral Commission to Blantyre. They have to comply with the executive order. So this is getting tense now. Emotions, you can see them in the way this thing is being handled. The problem is, instead of Malawi Electoral Commission moving and start the legal process of ensuring that the autonomy of the commission is respected, while in Blantyre, they're busy fighting it. They're busy fighting with the executive order. That's why these things are getting emotional and difficult to understand. So here is the whole story about the battle that is between Malawi Electoral Commission and the state authority. Hear this story.
AG cracks whip on making. Nothing can stop relocation to Blantyre. A fresh showdown has erupted between the government and the Malawi Electoral Commission, MEC, with the Attorney General Frank Mbeda declaring that there is nothing standing in the way of the electoral body's relocation from Lilongwe to Blantyre. In what appears to be the strongest warning yet to make, Mbeda insisted that President Peter Mutharika's executive order directing the Commission to return its headquarters to the commercial capital must be obeyed. This is an executive order which must be complied with. On the other hand, there is nothing to prevent the implementation of the executive order, Mbeda told the Daily Times. The Attorney General Favor dismissed MEG's reliance on ongoing legal proceedings as a justification for remaining in Lilongwe. Legal issues alone cannot justify MEG's position not to relocate to Blantyre, he said. His remarks set the stage for an intensifying standoff between the government and the electoral body, which has repeatedly resisted the directive despite mounting pressure from the state authorities. Last week, MEC reaffirmed its refusal to move with its legal representative, David Matumika Banda, making it clear that the Commission's position remains unchanged. The position of the Commission, as communicated in that statement, has not changed, Banda said. At the heart of MEC's resistance is a constitutional battle its has not yet been conclusively settled by the courts. The Commission argues that although the High Court dismissed its application on February 27 this year, the case was thrown out on procedural grounds rather than on the substantive constitutional questions it raised. The Commission has resolved that the issues being constitutional in nature must be properly and definitively determined by the court, MEC said in a statement, adding that it is taking further legal steps to seek a final determination. However, the Commission has remained tight-lipped on whether it has formally lodged fresh court proceedings. The legal setbacks have continued to pile up. The court recently dismissed a separate challenge brought by 3 individuals seeking to overturn President Mutharika's relocation decision, strengthening the government's hand. Meanwhile, the pressure on MEG is no longer confined to the courtroom. The Office of the President and Cabinet, OPC, has effectively turned up the heat by announcing that it will no longer pay rent for MEG's offices at the Capital Development House in Lilongwe. OPC spokesperson Focus Maganga said government had only been covering the rental costs because MEG was operating from the capital city. Since MEC is relocating, there is no need to continue paying rentals, Maganga said. In other potentially crippling development, Capital Development Limited, through property managers Mpiko, has disclosed that an offer allowing MEC to continue occupying the building expired without any response from the Commission. The developments have left MEC facing pressure from all directions, legal, financial, and administrative. Yet legal experts believe the Commission still has options. Legal analyst Katon Kanchezera said MEC could appeal the procedural dismissal if it believes it has strong grounds. If they think they have a plausible ground, they can appeal the court's decision on the procedural point. Otherwise, they can ask the president to rescind his decision on the grounds that it was outside his powers. If he refuses, they can challenge the refusal through judicial review, Kanchezera said. Malawi Law Society President Davis Njovu echoed the view, saying MEC remains entitled to exhaust all available legal remedies. MEC would be entitled to exercise their full legal rights, but as to whether the courts would grant them the reliefs which they would be seeking, that is a different question, Njovu said. The dispute traces back to October last year when President Mutharika ordered 4 government institutions to relocate their headquarters from Lilongwe to Blantyre. The affected bodies were MEC, the Malawi Communications Regulatory Authority (MACRA), the Malawi Housing Corporation, and the Malawi Police Service. While the other institutions have complied with the directive, MEC remains the lone holdout, setting up a high-stakes confrontation that is rapidly becoming a test of executive authority, institutional independence, and the limits of constitutional power.
So that's what is happening. I believe if Malawi Electrol Commission would like to be more professional, it must first of all comply with the executive order and fight it while it has complied. It would make sense. But now it's like it's a defiance and compliance. It's like you are undermining the president. Therefore, this cannot get better. Be professional. Go to Blantyre, to your offices. When you are there, begin to ask the court to review the independence and autonomy of the commission so that the commission should be more independent. I believe that can be the right approach because the president has already issued the executive order and you're saying you are independent. But we know that the president elects the commissioners of Malawi Electrol Commission. So I have a doubt that independence is there unless you tell me the president has no appointing authority for the commissioners. So that's it. Let's wait and see how this battle will end. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like my video, subscribe to the channel, and comment until I come back with another video. Bye-bye.